Motion City Soundtrack dropped their new album, The Same Old Wasted Wonderful World. Woo! God, I don't know. My brain
I
kind of struggled with that for a second. Oh,
um I love Motion City Soundtrack, and the fact that we're getting a new record is not something that I thought was going to happen, although obviously, the band has returned. They returned to live shows, so an album was going to come at some point. But I don't know, still, when they announced that, I was like, we're getting a new Motion City Soundtrack record. I can't believe that.
yeah.
But now it's here, it's sitting in front of us, and I've listened to it a couple times now, and I still can't quite wrap my head around the fact that there's a new Motion City Soundtrack record after 10 years since the last one. I really went into this record with no expectations other than, god damn, do I love Motion City Soundtrack as a live band, and I love Commit This to Memory, their 2005 record. And what I walked away with is, this is exactly what a band coming back, has to accomplish. They've been back, they've been touring for so long, but there's been no new music alongside that. And this is the perfect balance of old influence and pandering and to the old fans, and giving them something that isn't just the old music, and continuing to expand and grow as a band, and do and kind of move the sound along as well, which is, and they execute that flawlessly, which is hard to do. So that is because, like, there's plenty of songs on this record that are very reminiscent to me of Commit This to Memory, with the basically the keyboard is very, very 2005, which I love that shit. So like a song like Particle Physics, which has Patrick Stump on it from Fall Out Boy.
So pause right there, because holy shit, this song came on and I was like, who is that? I was like, I know that voice. What the fuck is Patrick Stump doing here? It was like, I have not seen a Patrick Stump feature in what feels like fucking years. So it's just craziest pull.
What if I blew your mind and told you that Patrick Stump filled in for Justin on vocals recently because he was unavailable for a performance, so he did some of the set?
What, just recently?
Yeah, recently.
I remember Justin posting about, like, hey, I can't, I'm sick.
Yeah.
Patrick Stump filled in for.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just Patrick Stump filling in for him.
Yeah.
It's just
they're obviously good friends. Patrick Stump is a not credited feature because he did like harmonies on one of the songs on Commit This to Memory. The song is slipping my mind, but yeah, that's very, like, the lore runs deep there, just like how all of those, like, bands from that era in the early 2000s, they were all intertwined. And if you listen to an Academy is record, you hear X artist on it, and Panic at Disco, you hear Y. Motion City Soundtrack was very much ingrained in that part of the scene.
Patrick Stump. That's crazy. Sorry, continue. It's just my actual, like, shock when I saw the name Patrick Stump as a feature.
Well, okay. Even knowing the relationship, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I saw the feature and I'm like, what the?
So what's going on here?
What the hell? Like, and I knew the relationship. I knew he'd been on songs in the past. I was like, that is insane. But the feature pulls across the board are honestly crazy. And obviously, Patrick Stump is wild. Matt from Citizen is fantastic. Your Days Are Numbered is great. And then Sincere Engineer, who's an artist that we have been following along with for a while as well. On things like this is great as well. But yeah, like a song like Particle Physics is like the definition of that nostalgia. And then there's other songs on the record that are a more modern take on Motion City Soundtrack, which is I love. That is, like I said, I really had no expectations. I didn't know what I wanted. Honestly, I think Motion City Soundtrack is a phenomenal band. I love them live. They're not always a band I go out of my way to listen to just because I have to be in a certain kind of a certain kind of feeling or emotion to a headspace is perfect to listen to them, because I have a tendency to just naturally gravitate towards heavier things. But they're the band that every time they're in town, I'm there, because their live performance is just a step above most bands. Like I've been at festivals that they've been at, and there could be two bands on, and they could be the band that I've seen 4 or 5 times at this point, and an artist I've never seen before that I'm intrigued by, and I will probably still go pick Motion City Soundtrack just because I know that the performance is going to be off the chain, which is crazy to say about a band that sounds like Motion City Soundtrack, but the performance is off the chain.
Yeah, they go crazy.
Seeing them live is what ultimately sold me on the band. They were touring in 2020, actually doing a 15-year anniversary tour for Commit This to Memory, and I was at the point in my life where I was so young that my mom was still taking me to the shows, and it was a show on a Saturday night at Starland Ballroom, and my agreement with my mom was only shows on the weekends because of school, and I vaguely knew the band's name from existing and listening to other bands that associated with them, so I was just like, I want to go to this, Mom.
I'll go to a show.
So I went, having only listened to Commit This to Memory a handful of times to at least know something, and walked away just being absolutely blown away by what had unfolded in front of me on stage. It's similar to what happened with Silverstein, basically the same story there, with Discovering the Waterfront. So yeah, this band holds a special place in my heart, and this record is it turns out to be exactly what I wanted, despite me not knowing really what I wanted from a new Motion City Soundtrack, because the singles were kind of all over the place, and kind of hard for me to really place my thoughts on where this was going and my feelings, just because they were pulling from all these different things, which ultimately winds up is very much showcased in the record. But pulling from all over the place, I was just kind of like, I don't know where they're coming from. There's a song that's reminiscent of the past. There's a song that's very modern, and it's just all over the fucking map. And I don't know where we're gonna end up. So getting to hear the record in its entirety allowed me to come away with that opinion, and I'm beyond stoked on this album.
Damn straight. So again, this is like another one of the bands where it's like you have a deep history with them and a deep admiration for them. I fucking love Motion City Soundtrack. I mean, we spoke to Justin
5 years ago.
I was gonna say, like, holy shit. It took me a second because I was like, damn, that felt like last year. 5 years ago. We spoke to, I was probably like 15. Oh my god, I was like nothing. Holy shit. Damn. Oh wow. So we spoke to Justin ages ago, and that was my introduction to Motion City Soundtrack. Obviously, being in the scene and kind of like being in the alternative environment, I knew the name. Didn't know the sound or the face, was introduced to them in that moment. That was really cool. Since then, though, I hadn't really followed them except for the couple singles we would get, or Shane just being like, I saw Motion City Soundtrack
for the 9th time. Let's talk about it.
And I loved it. And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. All right, man. I saw them briefly at Warped Tour. I stood at their stage for a couple minutes and then said, I gotta go get a corn dog. So I got my corn dog. But honestly, I thought that this record was fantastic. The funniest thing, halfway through the record, I was like, this is gonna be hilarious, but I'm gonna sound like a fucking dick. I love Weezer, because it's just, there are some Weezer elements in this. Maybe that's just because it's the era that I'm relating it to, where it's kind of that, I guess, happy-go-lucky rock is kind of what I want to call it, where it's just like, the sound itself is lighthearted. It kind of makes you want to sway a little bit. It is just kind of like that fun, upbeat music. And it fucks, and I love it. The only reason why I say Weezer is because that's the only band in my head that I drew it to. I don't know. I think Weezer's fun. I love Weezer. Shout out. Again, as I said before, I was listening to this as I was baking, and I literally stopped everything when I kind of heard a voice that sounded a little familiar. And seeing fucking Patrick Stump on this record is absolutely insane. I don't know. He sounded great. He sounded incredible. I'm not mad at it, but it was just wildly confusing for me because I did not know the lore. I didn't know the history. I was just like, how the fuck did they just pick Patrick Stump off the side of the road and say, hey, you want to come on the record? And it's just fucking, all right. I thought the Matt Kierix feature was absolutely insane as well. Your Days Are Numbered. I fucking loved She Is Afraid, which was a single, but off second or third listen. I don't know how many times I gave it a listen when it was just a single. I thought it was okay. but hearing it in the context of the record and kind of in the world of this album got me really excited for it. I don't know. I think it was a great choice for a single. I think it definitely encapsulates kind of the sound and the energies that they're going for on the record. So that was great. I did enjoy Downer a lot. I enjoyed Bloodline. Um, oh, and the Sincere Engineer feature was also fucking insane. I thought this record was great. Definitely a kind of like that summery vibe for me. As I said, it's kind of that happy-go-lucky, almost not beachy because it doesn't have any like of those like reggae elements at all. But just kind of that vibe where it's sunny, you're listening to it, and you are just having a fucking blast. I don't know. I like it a lot.
Hell yeah. I just realized that I didn't give my favorites. I was so wrapped up in I love this band.
Yeah, I thought I kind of assumed the whole record was your favorite because how much you like it. Yeah, go.
Somewhere a Dark Heart, the opener, She Is Afraid, Particle Physics, those first three songs are incredible. Your Days Are Numbered and Downer, and then the closer as well, the title track, are all songs that stood out to me. But yeah, basically the entire album is a safe assumption.
There you go. And also here, so just so I'm not just letting Weezer hold in there, Origami Angel is also a great example of kind of like that summery, happy-go-lucky rock. So that is also another band that I would like to draw to. There you go.
Hell yeah.